Here we go on Cyrodiil Tour 2016, looking for help for Bruma. Send some soldiers that way, assuming that the Mythic Dawn is going to make an even larger scale attack at some point. Go ahead and be prepared if possible.
Hello! Welcome to Castle Chorrol. It's a pleasure to meet you. I am Countess Velga of Chorrol. I wish I had time to chat, but I'm afraid I'm in the middle of an investigation. While I understand Bruma's need, Chorrol's own defense must come first. I cannot spare any soldiers as long as Chorrol remains under threat from the Oblivion Gate outside our walls. Goodbye.
Yeah, I'm guessing this is going to be a repeated theme here as we go along.
Come on.
Now at Leowin, I remember there being an Oblivion Gate out on something of an island along that river just outside the city. Remember there being one there, so I can fully expect one. And then I think I know where the one in the Imperial City is. Bruma's already been taken care of for the time being, but like I say, all this is in preparation for an even bigger attack. They know that Martin's there due to their little spy network. Took care of their spies, but I'm sure that was way too late. So now, just kind of have to get ready. Skingrad. Don't remember an Oblivion Gate around Skingrad, but if there is, we'll take care of it. And then you have Breville, and I believe I already took care of that one. I think I just did that on the fly just because it was there. I was passing by type of thing. And I've closed another gate or two like that, but I don't think they were around cities. Not really sure. Anyway, so we have at least, oh geez, at least, what, 3 more? I'm not sure what I'm going to do with all the sigil stones after that. At some point I need to find some Daedric gloves and a helmet. Been looking for those for a while. I'm sure they'll drop at some point. Okay, what do we have here? It looks like we have one of those where you're supposed to open all the gates, and I'm not trying to hear that. There's usually one of 2 ways to handle this. If there's no lower front door type of thing, then we need to get up into one of these little side towers, get inside, and then drop down to whatever level will allow us into the hallways that are built into these towers. Seems like there's that central spire, and then you'll find a certain level where it'll say Dark Halls of Salvation, or, you know, something along those lines, Chamber of something something. And usually that'll lead you to the top. Oh, he's about to get another clan fear in here. I hate the clan fears. They're almost unavoidable. They do too much damage to even block. This is the difference between just basically 2 and 3 shotting you regardless. And when they lunge at you, they can cover a lot of ground. You can sidestep them sometimes, but that's about it. Well, once those spells really start cooking and break down their defenses, they become pretty squishy. A little bit like the Marked for Death shout in Skyrim. The gameplay has been really similar here. I think it's a similar effect. Basically, Marked for Death destroys an enemy's defenses, tears them down from inside out, and then makes them really squishy, basically. It is, hands down, my favorite shout in Skyrim. I don't really know or care about any of the new shouts with DLC and stuff like that. I can roll with that and take out, you know, legendary dragons in a couple hits type of thing. Let a few Marked for Death shouts sink in, let them think about that for a minute or two, and then come in and just execute them. And that's, you know, the highest level dragons the game has to offer, and that's at a relatively low level. Basically, as soon as those dragons can spawn, start just kicking their ass. Not that they can't kick my ass too in the same manner. Come in with their fire or their frost or whatever they happen to be shouting and basically instantly destroy my character. On Legendary, the enemies do a lot more damage. It's not a whole lot different than it is here. Defensive ratings are a bit different. Not sure that you can get full immunity to magic in Skyrim either. I'm guessing you probably can to take that out of the equation. But I think Bretons only start with a, what is it, 25% resistance as opposed to 50? And different kinds of items too. I think Skyrim, at least in my game experience, it leans a little more heavily on enchanting stuff yourself. There's stuff to be found, but some of the in-game items don't seem quite as strong. They don't seem balanced the same way. You know, like the mundane ring, which I'm wearing now. Things like Ring of Perfection, because there's not really attributes involved. They toned Skyrim down and over vanilla simplified it to the point that they took away a lot of the RPG aspects of it. It's basically drop a point in health, drop a point in stamina, drop a point in magic, and pick a perk. It takes a lot of the fun away from the player, honestly, in leveling your character. It really does. If this is a formula they're gonna continue with and follow, I can honestly say I'd be looking at Elder Scrolls 6 with more of a be interesting to see, boring as hell to play after a period of time, unless I'm one of those that just likes to mod the shit out of their games. You know, in other words, they provide a blank canvas for you to come in and do a bunch of corny shit that has nothing to do with the game. That's not what I'm looking for in an Elder Scrolls game. I'm looking for a game world that takes me to a new place and draws me in and basically doesn't let me go. And I would say by looking at Skyrim, by looking at Fallout 4, I would say Bethesda's lost the ability to do that. Their writers, no, that's days gone by type thing. Can they get it back? I don't know. I don't know that they're looking, because I don't think they have to. I think they made enough money to say that, you know, who cares if you like it or not? We've got our millions. And if that's what it is, then they'll go the Ubisoft way, you know. Just keep pumping out mindless vanilla shit until people get tired of it, and then try to make a movie, you know, Skyrim movie or something, you know. And yeah, I don't mean to be a downer on this, but it's just a trend, just a pattern I see, and just being honest and being a huge fan. Like I say, this is right here, I believe, my favorite game of all time. Fallout 3 comes right in there with it for the game's ability to do what a game's supposed to do, which is draw me into a world and just give me unending hours of fun, immersion, and, you know, I'm there. When I'm in the Capital Wasteland, I'm there. When I'm in Cyrodiil, I'm there. In fact, ESO, being an MMO, I don't care what anyone says about that game. Not only are the builds a whole lot of fun, it actually maintains some RPG elements. But being in Cyrodiil, even in PvP, assuming you weren't getting ganked by 4 or 5 players who were scared to fight 1v1, aside from that, just roaming around, there were some serious feels in that game. And it had a lot to do with the music, but you could still get on your horse and, you know, run free through the fields in Cyrodiil between these ancient keeps that were ancient even before Oblivion times. I think ESO was set, what, a couple thousand years or something before the events of Oblivion, I think? Something like that. Anyway, there was some of that. So even they got it, and this wasn't the team that was responsible for Oblivion, and certainly not the team that was responsible for Skyrim. Not saying they didn't share maybe some of the same type of people, but I believe the guys that did ESO were a completely different studio. It was just published by Bethesda's publisher. What is it, ZeniMax, I think? Anyway. But we'll see. You know, am I going to check it out? Yes. Do I expect to be disappointed? Yes. Yes, very much so. I expect to be disappointed in not just oh wow, this game isn't as good as I'd like it to be. Disappointed in the kind of let down and betrayed kind of sense, in that you're in a deep, meaningful relationship with your significant other, and that person changes completely and becomes someone else entirely, and the only thing that resembles the person they were is maybe their name and their looks on the outside, but outside of that they're completely different. That's Bethesda to me. if they can retain their former self or go on to a different version and somehow regain that formula that they once had. And some of it, it's kind of hard to even put into words. It's what made them special. Don't be mad because people expect things from you when you set the bar for yourself. You say, I'm going to jump this high, and then you just stop. That's kind of on you, That's what I would say to Bethesda. You kind of did that. And so for the RPG player, I'm not saying the action game player, I'm not saying the Call of Duty fan convert that decided to come over and pick up a sword and lay down a sniper rifle and stop hiding in bushes, to come over here and try to get Bethesda to make Elder Scrolls co-op and multiplayer. Not these types of tools and idiots. Talk about the RPG fan, one that truly likes RPGs for RPGs. You just kind of long for a time where Bethesda says, okay, we got enough money. Good luck that happening, right? But saying we have enough money, let's get back to the integrity. Let's get back to the innovation. Let's get back to the depth of writing and game world development that we used to have when we cared. I made a comment on Twitter, and it was actually responded to by one of the Bethesda guys. I think maybe it kind of bit kind of deep, because basically the tweet that I was responding to was something along the lines of, this is the celebration we had when Fallout 3 release. And my comment was simply back when Fallout was actually Fallout. And, it was like, wow, bad burn, bro. And it was like, what? Truth hurts, I have to assume that just being the player and not having any idea, not being a fly on the wall in Bethesda offices, that there has to be some people in there, aside from the ones with egos and aside from the ones that just don't have a clue, there has to be someone still there that knows where they've fallen off completely. Maybe not in profitability, but in game quality. There has to be somebody that knows there. And, that gives some hope for the writing of a sunken, not sinking, but sunken ship. The RPG is dead with Bethesda. It's over. I don't want to accept that. I don't want to admit it, but it's true. Can that be resurrected? Can they breathe new life in it? Sure they can. Sure they can. It would be hard, though, because there's going to take some humbling. There's going to take some admitting. Well, they don't have to come out and publicly admit it. They just need to make the hard changes and the hard choices behind the scenes. Which, if they are the corporate shark big developer, AAA studio, badass. Wow, how the hell did you dodge every swing like that? That's crazy. This spider daydreamer is a ninja. They can humble themselves on one side, and then on the other side say that, hey, you new guys who came in and basically changed the face of our franchise, we need you to go. We may love you to death. We may have visited each other, over the last couple of years for Christmas and stuff, but it's time for you to go because you're not good for what we're doing. I wouldn't see that happening. You're talking about hard steps to take. I'm sure now you're dealing with, personalities and relationships aside from just business. And can they? Don't know. Don't know if they can. I mean, they can. Will they? And I would lean towards saying no, because they don't have to. If money ever becomes a factor, if people finally get tired of, Elder Scrolls rehashed, action game, Fallout rehashed, 2A shooter at a 3A price type thing. They get sick of that. Finally the original fan base realizes that it's in name only, and the games, they haven't had any actual Fallout in a while type of thing, then maybe, but those are a lot of changes to go through, and will the fan base even still be around at that time? Nah. A person like myself, probably not. Probably go ahead. So I look back to this and I say, well, Oblivion is almost like a standalone type thing. Of course, I didn't put a lot of time into Morrowind like a lot of players. If I had, then I would be including that in that list, I'm sure. Fallout 3, the same kind of thing. It was the standard. It was the bar that was set. It was set so high. From just an overall, besides its faults, besides its drawbacks, besides the things that people might criticize, it doesn't matter. It as a whole, it was, to me, amazing. And to a lot of other people, I'm not the only one. It's not, you know, there weren't a billion videos and a billion reviews and discussions and forums and everything else built around this game for no reason. You know what I mean? People played it. You could say the same thing about Fallout 4 as far as that goes, but I see in a completely different genre. I see a completely different type of player, and the things they talk about don't really refer to RPG aspects in a game and getting involved in the immersion of the game. It's almost a caliber of player now enjoying Fallout 4 that's afraid of the RPG elements. They only like Fallout 4 because the things that RPG fans like in a game have been taken out. You know, more of the ready-made game, like a Call of Duty type thing, is the sense that I'm getting from the people that still fanboy the shit out of Fallout 4. That's the general feel I get. And you know, if that's your kind of game, that's great. It's a shame that Bethesda catered to that and allowed them to come in and ruin my game. You know, that sucks. But it is what it is. So, you know, we've talked about that a lot, and don't know what brought that up again. It's just, I guess as long as it remains a thing, you know, trying to put it in different words so it makes more sense. More as much for me as talking to you guys. I'm half just talking to myself, you know, just trying to kind of reason it out and I guess soften the blow type of thing, make it easier to swallow. And it's all right. Look, dude, stop running, bitch. Now you're ready to fight. Okay, kick your ass now. Ring of Shock Shield. Well, I'll be selling that. Shock Shield, Fire Shield, Frost Shield. Those will be things we will be enchanting our clothes with when we do our next playthrough of this. Still want to do one live with you guys. I guess next on the table, in whatever order, are Oblivion and Witcher 3. I don't know which one we'll get into. Witcher 3 is going to be completely blind. It's not something... I don't think it's something I'm going to do a playthrough on the channel, so there will be streams available to anyone that's interested when we get into playing it. I keep my stream videos live unless for some reason they either corrupt or it just goes, you know, just really, really badly. So I think we'll just play that, and I'll just experience the game for the first time with you guys, type of thing. You know, won't go for a complete game trophy run type of thing. Well, might. I don't know. Can't say what I will or won't do, but anyway, if we get into it, it'd be a completely blind thing because I haven't even opened the game yet. I have it, and I just haven't even opened it. And if you ask why, I really have no answer to that. It's actually no reflection on the quality of the game itself. It's probably one of the top 2 or 3 games that's come out in the last 4 or 5 years, right? From what I gather, and I believe the people that have told me that. I actually do believe that. Why aren't you playing it? Other things, just stuff that we've already said we were going to do when that wasn't on the table, and that's kind of what we're taking care of. Playing Dragon's Dogma right now. Why? Because when we talked about it, and there's still, to this day, people stopping in on stream that hadn't seen the game. So that's what we're doing, you know. Playing that. We're playing Skyrim Remastered just to see some of the new artifacts, and I've been pleased with a couple things. It's nice getting back into the game anyway. It's a nice game world to be in, even if there's not a whole lot of stuff to keep the RPG fan happy. It's still a nice game world. It's nice to wander around with the music and look at things. And now that they've changed some of the lighting and shadowing and a few of the effects, the art is still, I'd say, 90% the same. But there are some different things. The trees look livelier. The entire game looks deeper. You can look down at the ground and the plants have more shadow. You can see under things, like there's depth, and stuff like more of a 3D type thing. So there's definitely some really cool things to see as far as that goes. Enjoying that, but need to mess with The Witcher and need to get back into this. And by about the time that we're done recording this, we can probably go ahead and start a stream on that. Don't know how much of The Witcher we'll get into. I can't even promise I'll be as enamored with it as everyone else is. Looks like a game where you're all in, and you're probably going to spend a couple months in that, or nothing, type of thing. If you allow yourself to get invested, then you're going to be deeply invested in that, and play through it several times. And it being such a huge game, you're talking about hundreds maybe even 1,000 hours of gameplay type. And that's sounds like a game that's right up my alley. It's just not the exact style of RPG in that I can't create my own character that I'm most fond of. But well, I don't want to prejudge it. We'll see. We'll see when we get there. But we had talked about playing it, and it's about time I got into that. So probably sometime over the next week or two, type of thing. But for now, talked my way through an entire Oblivion gate. We got a good sigil stone, something that we can put on our boots or gloves or helmet or whatever armor pieces we still have available. Let's wait for the Countess to get back on her throne so we can get some more aid for Bruma, and then I guess it's off to what? Maybe Skingrad? I don't know.
Hello. Welcome to Castle Chorrol. It's a pleasure to meet you. I am Countess Velga of Chorrol. I wish I had time to chat, but I'm afraid I'm in the middle of an investigation. Your reputation precedes you, Hera of Kvatch. You have done my city a great service by closing the Oblivion Gate. I will now gladly send soldiers to aid in the defense of Bruma. Consider it done. Goodbye.
It's another thing. Each one of the cities offers maybe several different little side things, and each one has its own story. Like, she has an investigation, so you find something that's, I don't know, missing or going on, and I don't remember exactly what this is, but each count or countess in each main city, they have something. Now, there's been some things directly story related, you know, quest line related, dealing with like the Count of Skingrad and Countess Umbernox and Anvil. But then you have other stuff, side stuff like that right there, and things going on around the throne room with some of those other people. And just about anyone you talk to could, at any given time, start a side quest for you. And that was a big wow thing with me in this game. All right, well, here we are at Skingrad, so I guess we'll look for their help next. I'm sure they want us to go close an Oblivion Gate. But for all I know, the Count, he wants us to do something different. Who knows? I guess we'll find out when we talk to him. Anyway, until then, y'all take care. And if you want to subscribe, you can click that button up top. If you want to catch the rest of this playthrough, you can click that image in the middle. It should send you straight to the playlist. Appreciate you hanging out, and I will see you guys in the next one. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.